If you're one of the people who seems upset because Sesame Street seems to suddenly be woke to you, well, I've got some bad news. Sesame Street has, since day one, always been woke. I mean, take a look at the original cast. Sesame Street has always been a show representing a diversity of people. It was created with that in mind, for crying out loud. That's why it was set on an urban street in New York City and not in say a farm in Iowa. Sesame Street's concept was actually the brainchild of Joanne Gans Cooney, who worked in public television. She wanted a show for underprivileged kids to help them prepare for kindergarten. She was the one who hired Jim Henson to create the Muppet characters for Sesame Street. And Sesame Street has never let off the gas on being ahead of its time. Sesame Street started with a diverse cast and expanded, adding Linda the Librarian in 1972, a human, who was deaf and gave a lot of children their first exposure to sign language. The show also added Rosita in 1991, a bilingual monster who speaks both Spanish and English on the show. It featured Seggy in 2010, an African-American Muppet conceptualized by head writer Joey Mazzarino, who sang the song I Love My Hair, which was written when his daughter, who the character is named for, was growing frustrated when playing with her Barbie dolls because they, unlike her, had long, silky blonde hair. In 2016, a Muppet named Julia was added, who has autism. Since there's an extremely wide spectrum for autism, it's a tricky thing to represent with one character, but the show also focuses on how other people can be empathetic for people with autism. I've seen so many stories or messages from people with autism who are happy to see someone like themselves represented on a show like this. In 2011, a character named Lily was introduced as being food insecure to talk about hunger. She was also expanded in 2018 to be the first homeless Muppet, as her parents have to live with friends and they don't have their own home. And this is mostly the US characters. Keep in mind there are versions of Sesame Streets in lots of different countries, and they've had special characters to help tackle their own issues like HIV, living in a war-torn country, and more regional issues like that. So yeah, Sesame Street is woke, was woke, always has been woke, and I think the world's better for it.